Hey guys, we're back to Hustle Cat, and it's very, very quiet because Avery's asleep. But we're back at the very beginning because we're finally doing Graves' route. And I heard there's like a couple of line changes throughout now, plus a couple different options we're going to get. And I don't know where they're going to come in. There's no skip as far as I can tell in the game, so I'm just going to go through from the beginning so I make sure I don't miss anything, and also because we'll see more of Graves as a cat and stuff, so we'll start from the very beginning, where Avery fell asleep on the couch again. Yeah, there she is. Little lasers of sunlight are zapping right onto my face from the middle of the curtains. I think they've been specifically aimed to burn out my eyes. I had this weird dream about a goth band. That's new. Were they called Spider Coven with an X? Girl. What is it, like noon? Jeez. Not my fault. This couch pulls you in like you're drowning in bread dough. My spine pops in loud protest as I swim free from my bread dough cushion trap. I'm gonna have to apologize to Aunt Wendy. I'm probably leaving a dent in the shape of my ass in the cushions. I'll probably have to apologize for a couple hundred things, actually. Okay, I know this looks bad, but it's almost not even my fault. I can't help that clutter is naturally drawn into my gravitational pull. It's just my magic. Honestly, it makes me feel a little more comfortable, you know? Like I really live here instead of just like I'm couch surfing at my aunt's. Oh, we're off to a great start. Also, just seeing all this clutter reminds me, Graves is like so pristine and clean. Like, how's he gonna react if he comes to Avery's apartment? More like I'm living in a furniture catalog. Not that I'm ungrateful. Aunt Wendy is awesome to let me use her apartment while she's away. She helped talk Mom and Dad into letting me come all the way out to the city, too. She's pretty cool. Wish we could see Aunt Wendy. I hear rustling behind me like fingernails on cardboard. It makes me pause for a second, but I jump up as I realize what it is. Hey! Mochi! Knock it off! Mochi, the living trash bag disguised as a cat, stares up indignantly from inside the pizza box. He's trying to scrape some dried-up cheese off the bottom again. His little mushed-up face is probably trying to stare me down, but it's kinda hard to tell where he's looking with those crossed eyes. Mochi. I clap my hands a few times to break the stalemate. He jumps at the sound, then waddles back to the bedroom in defeat. I guess since I'm up too, I might as well get to whatever I'm gonna do today. I shuffle to the curtains and throw them open. My laptop is still sitting open on the coffee table. Oh yeah, job searching, I guess. That's what I was gonna do. I plop back down on the couch, already sinking back into the cushions, and take a look. Geez, there are so many tabs here. Which one did I leave Greg's list open in again? Not that one. This one? Or this one? Maybe this one? No, that's just another cat video. I was up all night watching Jelly Donut, the cat who balances donuts on her head. I have no idea how you get a cat to do something like that. Guess that's why Mochi and I aren't internet famous. I find the tab and start scrolling through listings again. It's not like anything new has gone up since yesterday, I bet. Sidewalk cleaner intern. College credit only. Internet comment section proofreader. Fundraiser street team intern unpaid. Yeah, it's been like this all month. Can you really blame me for giving up and watching cat videos? I know this kind of thing is supposed to take time, but try telling that to Mom, Dad, or my savings. Any of those could send me back home at any time. And I really have to get this done before Aunt Wendy gets back. Just thinking about writing another cover letter is making my will to exist erode away. I'm gonna go for a walk. Maybe I'll get a job that way. Who knows? When I got here, I expected to be buried in noise from the city's traffic and crowds, but it's actually pretty quiet. The apartment is on a side street, far from the main street bustle. From here, the noises of the city are just a distant hum. It's comforting, like the buzz of an old tube TV. I'd have to walk like 20 minutes to get to the train from here, but I rarely leave the neighborhood, so it doesn't really matter. Still, living a small-town life in the city, I guess. Whatever, I got plenty of adventure in this neighborhood. I can just set out in any direction and find something new, even if I've been down that way before. Sure, I get lost a lot too, but that's half the fun, right? I turn a corner at the end of the block and head up a tiny side street I haven't tried yet. Neatly arranged trash cans line the side of the road. I think I'm behind some stores right now. I'm expecting a dead end, but the road suddenly curves to the right. It looks too narrow for cars, but the faded white lines marking the middle seem to claim some brave drivers could try their luck. I decide to follow the sharp bend in the road. After I pass a tall partition, I'm surprised by what I see. Oh. Sorry, that was a notification from my timer, which is an old phone of my husband's, which I use as a timer. What are you notifying me for? Maybe he's just getting excited because it's a cat's paw. A squat 3-story building painted so ostentatiously bright it'd be impossible to miss sits in front of me. A cat's paw? Is this a pet store or something? Maybe I can get a dumb toy for dumb Mochi. As I walk closer to the front doors of the building, I don't see the aisles of pet food I expected from the broad store windows. Instead, it looks like there are couches and tables in neatly arranged rows. Oh, so this is one of those pretentious restaurants with a pithy nonsense name, huh? I can feel my interest deflate and sink into my stomach. Just as I'm about to turn and continue walking, I notice a sign in the window that declares, "Now hiring, inquire within." I'm hardly dressed for a job inquiry, but I might as well give it a shot, right? I look to my right as I walk up to the door and see a little orange and white cat lying belly up, sunning itself against the window. It doesn't seem terribly sanitary to have a cat in a restaurant, but whatever. I like cats. Bells tinkle delicately as I tug on the handle. The heavy door creaks open. This place is so classy, it feels fake. Looks like a game board exploded in here. Isn't that what the palace was like in Wonderland? Like with the cards and stuff? Is a purple cat gonna start talking to me? Though none of them are purple, boy are there a lot of cats. I think I can count at least 8 right off the bat. They're all over the place, romping around the floor, sleeping on some of the built-in structures in the walls. I've barely had time to take it all in when I hear a voice call out to me. "Welcome, please sit wherever you'd like." I shuffle in place for a moment, at first unsure of where the voice came from, then of whether I want to sit or if I want to keep this strictly business. Actually... I start as the source of the voice looms into view. He appears suddenly from the second-story landing and covers the length of the floor in a few long strides. "You look confused. Is this your first time here? Would you like me to explain a bit about how the cafe works? I'll be happy to give you a tour." His eyes are gentle. He's one of those people who smiles with his entire body. It's positively infectious. Actually, as much as that sounds great, I'm here about a job. Actually, I'm here about the job. Oh. His pause is brief, but it worries me a little. Is it really that surprising that someone would come in and ask about a job? Did I do it wrong? Oh, great. We don't get a lot of responses. I think it's because Mr. Graves only puts the sign up in the window. Mr. Graves. He doesn't want to advertise anywhere. Good thing I came in then, huh? You're right. His smile is broad, but his eyes creep to the back of the cafe like he's looking for an escape. Okay, you can take a seat, and I'll go get the owner. He'll be able to tell you a little more about what he's looking for. You got it. Oh, and, what's your name? Avery. Avery. Cool. I'm Landry. Nice to meet you. Okay, I'll be right back. He bounds up the stairs and disappears. I begin to sit at the little cafe table, but freeze halfway as I hear a faint exclamation of dismay. It's followed by thundering footsteps and by Landry's return. Avery, I'm so sorry. What? I didn't offer you any coffee. Would you like some? Oh, don't scare me like that. Sure. You got it. He vanishes into the back again and reappears carefully balancing a stout white mug atop a black saucer in one hand and a tiny creamer in the other. Gently he sets the mug and creamer before me. I forgot to ask how you take your coffee, so I brought you some milk. There's sugar on the table if you'd like it. Oh, thank you. Okay, I'll check with Graves this time. I mean it. Landry bounds to the back room and is again out of sight. A Siamese cat timidly peers at him as he goes, then directly at me with a wide-eyed, worried look. I give it an awkward smile and nod before I realize I'm treating the cat like a stranger in an elevator. I dump most of the milk and 3 sugar packets into my coffee before I can get it to the consistency I like. I pour what should be a little splash of extra milk, but half the creamer's worth spills in. It almost overflows. Mew. This cat's looking at me like it's offended by what I just did. What, like a cat knows anything about coffee? When Landry finally returns, he's not alone. And the music stops.
This is Graves, the owner of the cafe. Graves, this is Avery.
Ooh. He looks like he should own a bookstore that insists it sells tomes, not books. Or maybe like he sells crystals that balance your chakras? Or maybe this is what the owners of cat cafes look like? I've never seen... Ah! His eyes. They're two different colors. I can't focus on both of them at the same time. Which one am I supposed to look at? My attention is sucked into his icy blue eye. Is he wearing a contact to complete his dark Renaissance look? Landry's face.
I think it was his eye. Yes, it was this.
Eh?
He had the eye of a vulture, a pale blue eye with a film over it. Whenever it fell upon me, my blood ran cold, and so by degrees, very gradually, I made up my mind to take the life of the old man, and thus rid myself of the eye forever.
Excuse me?
Telltale heart, you were looking at my eye. Kids, didn't you read that in high school?
Well, yeah, but...
Iridis heterochromia. It's more common in cats than humans.
What a weirdo. I'm not sure I want to work for a guy like this. Oh, cool. I didn't know that. I can't remember if this used to be an option or not. It's been so long. Is that gonna be on the test? Hello? Oh, the face. Is that going to be on the test? I shouldn't sass my potential boss, but I can't help it. It just kind of slipped out.
It was an interview question, but you can consider that one a free pass.
And cats with extra toes are called polyodactyls.
That wasn't an interview question, but I appreciate your proof of cat knowledge.
Why'd I blurt that out? Now I look stupid. Ugh. Oh, the face.
Do you have any more tucked up your sleeve?
Or maybe he's into it. Eh. He looks really amused right now, at least. Calico and tortoiseshell cats are all female.
Not necessarily, but close enough, I suppose.
And cats also have whiskers on the back of their front legs. This is amazing. It's like, someone who's into cats. Excellent.
Huh. I wouldn't have guessed you a cat person. Not a bad start. Graves, would you mind telling Avery a bit about the place? I think it'd be good if you talk about what we do here.
Graves looks like the notion is causing him physical pain.
Can't we just keep talking about cats?
I'm not too keen on this idea either, Chief.
You didn't do that already. Don't you think it sounds better coming from the owner? You're going to be doing the interview anyway. Good point. Landry, this cafe would collapse into rubble without you around to keep me on track. All right, Avery. I didn't prepare a speech, so you'll have to forgive me.
I'm a little surprised to hear that, but I guess there aren't any Poe stories that he can quote for the situation.
I like to take care of strays. I like coffee. I like good desserts. I like a beautiful room. I wanted a place where I could have all of those at once. That's how a cat's paw was born. The cats here are from the neighborhood. Usually they want to come here, so I don't have to convince them to come in. Forever home. Pithy. Hate that term. But the cats who want to be adopted are listed on the wall over there. I'm a good matchmaker for people and cats. I can tell who's a good fit for the cat's personality. If they meet my standards, they've got a new family member.
It's good you help them find homes like that.
Well, if I had the room, I'd just keep them all.
He totally means that, doesn't he? Cool, I get to be interviewed by a cat hoarder. I don't know, it's probably better that way, right?
Who knows? Follow me. We'll talk on the second floor.
Before he finishes the sentence, he's already 3 steps up the stairs to the balcony. So much for the introduction to the cafe, I guess. I shake my head a little and follow him. After all, I really need a job. We make our way up to the second floor balcony, which, except for us, is only occupied by those amazing-looking cakes in the display case. I wonder if I can get a slice on my way out. Graves leans over the balcony of the cafe and raises his voice to the people below. Or to the cats, I guess, since cats are the only thing I can see from here.
Hayes, will you get us some coffee?
Is that the chef? I haven't seen anybody here besides him and Landry. Oh, I already had a cup.
Is that going to stop you from another? You can't have enough coffee, especially when Hayes is the one making it.
I don't think I met Hayes.
You may have. You might not know yet.
Graves folds himself into the slender chair at a corner table. He pushes the opposite chair away with his foot, nudging it just enough to turn it towards me.
Come on, sit down. Let's talk. You don't have to be so stiff. Interviews are boring. Make it interesting for both of us.
No pressure, huh? Graves sits with a sort of grim pomp, like he's sitting in a skull throne and a raven's going to land on his shoulder at any time. Maybe it's more like he's about to roll a die with a lot of sides. I bet he's a nerd. I take the seat across from him.
Just so you're aware, we aren't starting without coffee.
Okay.
You can talk, of course. I meant the interview.
Okay. Out of the corner of my eye, I notice a tiny slip of a blonde man standing at the balcony entrance. Ugh! I jump a little. When did he get here? I didn't hear anybody come up the stairs at all. Is this guy a ghost? Graves looks like the type to hire ghosts. He looks terrified by my shout. I think I scared him more than he scared me. Gingerly, he sets 2 mugs in front of Graves.
Thank you, Hayes, but you should give Avery the other mug.
He sounds like he's reminding a child to say thank you.
Of course.
Hayes glances up at me. Our eyes meet for a millisecond before he suddenly finds something very important to focus on downstairs. He pushes the cup toward me without looking back up. Thank you. Graves' ring clacks against the porcelain of the cup as he takes a drink.
Perfect as always. I don't know what I did without your coffee. It's nothing special, really.
He talks like it's the first time he's spoken today. Quiet and a little hoarse.
If that's all, I'll go back to the cats. That's fine.
Hayes slips back down the stairs just as quietly as he arrived. That kid would make a great ninja. I look down at the coffee and see a sleepy cat face staring up at me from the foam. I've only ever seen latte art on the internet before. Did Hayes really do this? I take a sip. It's not bad if you like coffee, I guess, but it could really use some sugar. There are packets on the table, but I can't bring myself to ruin the foam cat.
Now we can get this going. Let's interview. I'll even start you off easy. What's your favorite breed of cat?
Alright, let's make it interesting. We haven't picked my cat yet. My cat's the best breed of cat, let's be honest.
Do you know any other languages? How about ciphers?
I speak the language of dance.
What marine animal would you say best represents you?
An orca's kind of unusual. Maybe he'd like that?
What genre of music would you use to describe your work ethic?
Punk. I'm not dead, just resting.
On a scale from 1 to 10, rate me as an interviewer.
7.5 as always.
Draculas or teenage wolves?
Draculas!
Just kidding with that last one. Interesting. Good. I like interesting people.
He leans forward, appraising me with this terrible smirk on his face. He's like the cat who ate the canary. Maybe I don't want to be interesting by his standards, but it feels kind of flattering nonetheless. Thank you.
You start tomorrow.
Oh wow, great, thank you!
Don't run off yet. I have paperwork for you.
Oh, yeah, of course. Graves pushes away from the table, coffee cup in hand. He nabs my saucer, even though I'm not quite finished, and slinks down the stairs. He returns as if he'd never left, trading the empty coffee cups for a small stack of papers and a pen. He places them in front of me. So, what will my job be?
We'll see.
Did he hire me with no position in mind? Is this how this guy usually works? I feel like I'm in a daze. Too much information and too much coffee. I take the papers and skim them, signing pretty much anywhere I see an X and a line. What's it all for, and why is there so much? Probably taxes and stuff, I don't know. And who cares? I've got a job. I push the papers back towards Graves and he eagerly scoops them off the table.
Perfect. We open at 11. Be here at 8. We'll have you help with the morning prep.
My displeasure must be pretty apparent because his mouth cracks into another smirk.
You can work a later shift after training. You won't have to deal with those cursed mornings for too long.
Okay, that's fine.
Now go. I have a lot of work to do before tomorrow. You need to get to work fixing that sleep schedule of yours.
Okay. He seems lost in his own world now, poring over the paperwork I just filled out. I guess there's all sorts of tax stuff you have to deal with hiring people. Why would he do it so casually? Well, whatever. Not my problem. I head down the stairs. Landry's back. He looks uncomfortable waiting at the foot of the balcony, but perks up when he sees me.
So?
I'll see you tomorrow, coworker.
Oh, congratulations. You can meet everybody else tomorrow morning. I'll make sure they're all ready for a meeting when you get in.
How many people work here?
Well, there's me, Graves, of course. You met Hayes. Finley, Mason, Reese. And that's it. It shouldn't take too long to get to know them.
Okay, great. I'll see you all tomorrow then.
Great. See you.
Woohoo! I'm gonna live it up a little. I'm gonna paint this town red. I finally have a job. This is the final time we'll watch the intro. Sad face. So good. Seeing that rust at the end of the intro just reminded me, we're finally gonna get some answers, I hope, in this route.
Please. Please be interested enough in Graves that you actually pay attention to his explanation this time, Avery. Please. That's all I ask.
Well, I got lost and I didn't end up painting anything, but it was a nice walk. As I head home, I get this distinct feeling of being followed. I didn't really know that was a thing that actually happens, but it's hard not to notice when you see some movement out of the corner of your eye. I turn around. A sleek black cat stands in the middle of the road. It sits down when we make eye contact and thumps its tail testily against the pavement. It's got different colored eyes. I guess heterochromia really is pretty common in cats, huh? Should I, try to bring it to the cafe? They take care of strays there, after all. I should try. I crouch down as slowly as I can and reach my hand toward the cat, beckoning to it. It doesn't move. I make those little smoochy noises that seem to work on some cats. This one doesn't seem terribly impressed. It pins its ears back and it looks away, still for a moment before standing up and slinking into an alley. I guess I should just leave this to the professionals. Is that Graves or is it not? I just don't know. It's time to celebrate. I'm gonna wreck this pizza I grabbed from Pizza Lloyd's on the way home. I picked up a can of wet cat food for Mochi from the corner store, too. I figure we both deserve a celebration. Mochi, get your fat lump out here. I have good news. No answer or indication he's even in the same room. You know, he never even asked how my day was. I know how to do this. I walk over to his food bowl and crack the lid of the wet food. In a flash, he's at my feet, tail shaking like a rotor behind him. Come here, you big moron. I give him a little scratch behind the ears before I dump half the can into his bowl and the feeding frenzy begins. He acts like I never feed him. Whatever, I'm about to go do the same to the pizza. After a quick jaunt to free myself from the shackles of non-pajama clothing, I flop back down on the couch, dinner in hand, laptop in my face. Oh! Looks like there's a new Jelly Donut video. It's a video of her sleeping in a donut box. I love that dumb internet cat. She's always doing something ridiculous. I wonder how her owner gets her to do those tricks. Also, that flooring seems familiar. Where are these filmed? Ah, whatever. I spend the rest of the evening picking through the video archives. I can feel myself sinking into the bread dough couch cushions. And that was the end of that. Meow. It's so early. What's his problem? Meow. I bet he just wants the other half of that wet food. This is why I don't get it for him that often. I excavate myself from the couch and do what I can to mitigate the bedhead situation I have going on. What time is it anyway? I grab my phone to check. 7:40? Aw, hell! I'm gonna be late for my first day of work. I take the world's fastest shower, but there's no time to dry my hair. I'll have to hope I run fast enough that the wind resistance will do the job for me. No time to sort through my duffel. I'm just gonna have to throw on whatever looks cleanest. It's not like Graves said anything about a dress code, so whatever. Mochi trails me closely, howling more and more insistently along the way. It's like he doesn't care about my punctuality at all. No time to mix the wet food the way he likes it. I dump a scoop of kibble into the bowl on my way out the door. I haven't seen a cat so offended since the one that watched me mess up coffee. They can both deal with it. I can't believe I'm almost late to my first day of work. At my first job, even. What a great first impression to leave. Thanks for hiring me, Avery the Flake. I start out in a full sprint to the cafe, but it's only about a 10-minute walk, so it looks like it might not be as bad as I thought. If I run, I can make it in less time. Sprint, sprint, sprint. Here it is, a cat's paw. I got a good look at it when I was here yesterday, but it feels totally different when it's your workplace, you know? It's kinda nice to think about.
Hey, Avery!
Landry peeks his head out from the doorframe and waves me in. I'm surprised by how many people are standing around. Graves, Landry, and Hayes are there, but so are a few others I've never seen. I only see a few cats right now, but they seem utterly disinterested in everything we're doing. They're all piled in a sleep cluster by the window. I feel a little embarrassed that I'm so disheveled, but I'd rather be on time with wet hair than late and looking perfect.
Good. You decided to challenge the morning sun after all. Now that the star is here, we can start the show.
Still as weird as yesterday, I see.
Caught another sucker, boss? That's esteemed co-worker to you, Reese. You just keep collecting these strays. Before we get too far, everybody should introduce themselves to Avery. Avery, we've already met, and you already know Graves. Did you meet Hayes yesterday?
Briefly. Hello, Hayes.
Hello.
He looks like he's going to try to slip between the cracks in the tile. How does a guy like this handle a job that deals with people?
Hayes is a great barista. He's a great help in the kitchen, but he likes to spend a lot of his time with the cats, too.
Hayes flashes me a quick look. The side of his mouth upturns ever so slightly, like he's trying to smile, but he's out of practice. I reach out to shake his hand. He's practically bracing for impact. Before I reach him, a bright light flashes at the corner of my vision. What? Uh-oh. Was that a camera? I think is what it says. Sorry, sweetie. I thought I turned the flash off. I whip my head to the other side of the lineup. The girl on the end is aiming her phone directly at me. Sorry, don't mind me. I just want to commemorate our new employee. I'm Finley, and I take care of social media. I like Candid, so I'll try again later when you've forgotten about it.
Finley is also...
Graves! I know what you're going to say. Don't ruin the surprise.
All right, all right. You tell Avery whenever you're ready.
Thank you. The two in the middle of the lineup look beyond unimpressed. One is the smart mouth guy, Reese? And the other looks like someone I wouldn't want to mess with, but is secretly a big old sweetheart inside. Finley puts her hand on the shoulder of the tough-looking woman standing next to her. Since she's not going to introduce herself, this is Mason. She's our head chef. Or our only chef, I guess. Well, nice to meet you both.
Yeah.
Finley reaches up and places her hand against the back of Mason's head. She pushes her hand forward, forcing Mason to nod. I'm amazed Mason is putting up with this. Wow, that's the most you've spoken all day. She likes you already, Avery. Mason makes a quick little noise that could either be a laugh or a grunt. Maybe it was both.
How kind of you all to save the best for last. I'm Reese, and I'm the one you'll be answering to after Graves, so you better stay on my good side.
I would have sworn Landry was second in command here, so I don't know what this kid's talking about. I didn't even see him at all during the interview yesterday.
I'm on cat detail today, but don't think that means I won't be keeping an eye on you.
Cat detail must mean taking care of the cats. Obviously. I'm learning quickly. I don't know why the second in command would be so eager about telling me he's gonna clean litter boxes today. Maybe it's a weird status thing here. Ew. I'll be on my best behavior then, I guess.
Good. Okay, that should be everybody then. Avery, you'll be training with me today. I hope that's okay.
That's fine with me.
It looks like I'm no longer needed. I have other work to do. You know where to find me.
Graves slinks to the back of the cafe. I think I can hear footsteps on creaky stairs. Mason and Hayes disappear after him. Avery, did you have breakfast? We're gonna have something to eat before work if you'd like to join us. It's tradition. That sounds great. I fed my cat, but I forgot to feed myself. Reese has already seated himself at the long booth seating along the wall. He scoots two of the tables together and Landry pulls over another chair.
Great, just sit and relax. Mason's just finishing up breakfast.
I move to take a seat, but Finley blocks my path. Avery, before you sit down, I have a question for you. Sure, what's up? Okay, is that... Her voice drops almost conspiratorially. She leans in to whisper. That's an Akia shirt, isn't it? He's my favorite too. A what? Akia? From Blast Zone? From what? Look, you don't have to play dumb. I get it! No, I really have no idea what that is. Is that like a show? Is this shirt from something? Oh, no. Never mind. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna be nice to everybody in my last time through. As long as I focus on Graves, it should be okay. But now you've got my interest. What is Blast Zone? I don't know if it would be your type of game after all. Oh, it's a game. I like games. Try me. Well, it's a story about men's passions clashing in a life or death struggle. Sounds dangerous. Oh, it is. But it's also romantic. Romantic? Like love blooming on the battlefield, that type of thing? Yeah, I think you do get it. Maybe I'll lend it to you sometime, if you prove yourself worthy. I'm not really sure what that involves, but sure. Okay. She gives me a grin and a wink, then takes a seat at the table next to Reese. I noticed that somebody's at the table while I was talking to Finley.
Mason and Hay should be out in a minute, Avery. Come sit down.
Sure. Where should I sit, though? What if there are some unspoken rules about the sort of thing in placing? You never know with new groups. Landry answers the conundrum for me by beckoning to the seat between him and Finley. Quietly, I take the seat. Mason emerges from the back with a large tray balanced atop each hand. One tray has a giant stack of French toast, the other is some kind of egg thing. I'm not sure, but it looks amazing. Whoa. I had no idea how hungry I was until just now. She sets the trays down in front of us and then returns to the kitchen. I hope she gets back soon, because I'm about to be on that egg thing like mochi on wet food. Mason returns a few moments later, cradling 6 empty coffee cups in her arms. Hayes follows in tow, carefully balancing a carafe full of coffee. They set the cups and carafe on the table and take their seats. Hayes' butt barely hits the chair before the others start to dig in. I'm a little afraid that I'll lose my hand in the fray if I try to jump in now, but I'm so hungry. Landry reaches out an arm from behind a fortress of French toast slices. He lightly bats at Reese's hand as it reaches for the syrup pitcher.
Save some for Avery. Jeez, calm down. You're the one stealing all the food. I haven't taken any more than usual. Breakfast is important.
While everybody shouts and chatters across the table, I help myself to a bit of everything. I'm not used to eating a real breakfast, especially one that didn't come out of a microwave, so I'm gonna savor this. Wow, this is amazing. Mason, what is this egg thing? Mason's eyebrow shoots up. She looks at me like I grew another nose.
Frittata.
Is that like a souffle? It looks like it'd be really hard to make.
Just eggs and vegetables in a pan.
Still, I know I wouldn't be able to make anything like that. It's really nice to have a real breakfast. What do you usually eat, Avery? Mostly cold pizza or toaster tarts, I guess, if I remember to get them. Mason glares like I just knocked her plate on the floor. She stares directly at me, through me, with a hard look in her eyes.
You eat here now. Always.
Can I still have pizza sometimes?
Not for breakfast. Ever.
I can hear Finley and Reese snickering. Okay, but other times are still okay, right? Mason rolls her eyes and goes back to her coffee. Reese stares up at me between bites of French toast.
Avery, when we're done, we need to talk about dress code. Oh, Reese, don't start this again. Shh. It's an important part of new employee orientation.
Landry passes a positively pained look at Reese. He glances at me, but a poke to the ribs from Finley sends him staring back at his plate. Landry, you're such a mama bird sometimes. Lighten up!
Avery, look at this place. We take our visual presentation very seriously here.
Hayes places his empty plate and cup on Mason's plate, and takes the stack into the back with the urgency of a tactical retreat.
Graves and I expect a certain level of decor with the waitstaff.
Is this about my outfit? I woke up a little late, so...
No, this is about uniforms.
Mason pushes her chair away from the table with enough force that it wobbles briefly on two legs. She stands and takes my plate in one fell swoop.
Opening soon. Time to get ready.
She picks up the now empty cast iron skillet with one hand and balances a few of the other plates on top. That looks heavy, but she's holding it all like it's nothing.
Come on.
She stares me down and gestures to the back door with a head nod before she heads into the kitchen.
Don't think you can run off so easily, Avery. You'll get written up if you don't have your uniform.
There is one option I haven't picked yet on this side, so I'm gonna do that. He seems pretty serious about this. Maybe I shouldn't blow him off because he looks so young. Maybe he's secretly as old as Graves or something. Uniforms? But nobody else is wearing any uniforms.
They just haven't changed yet, or they don't need them. Only the waitstaff wear uniforms, and you'll be waiting tables with Landry today.
Yeah, but Landry doesn't have a uniform. Reese glances over his shoulder toward Landry, who's made himself busy straightening up the tables in the dining area. He doesn't appear to have heard either of us. Or he's just ignoring us.
That's because we don't have a uniform in his size. Yet, at least. Someday he won't have an excuse anymore.
Come on, Avery. I bet you look cute in a uniform. I can't help feeling a bit itchy about this. Reese rummages around in a drawer by the back door and pulls out some kind of black, orange, and white lace thing. That can't be it, right?
This looks like it should be your size. Now come on.
He dumps the pile of lace and fabric in my hands and then pushes me toward what I assume is the bathroom. I pause in front of the door and give Reese a baleful look.
Oh, come on. At least try it.
I see what you're up to. Okay, now I know he's messing with me. Nobody outside of 19th century England has worn something like this, and I'm pretty sure they hadn't yet invented an orange that ugly. What is this, some kind of hazing thing? I'll pass.
Oh, come on. It's a cat's paw tradition.
I've always considered myself a mold breaker.
Let it go on the record that Avery hates fun.
He's like a kid who just had his toy taken away. What a brat. Even Finley looks disappointed. I gently drape the uniform over his shoulder, but he moves his head before I have the chance to wrap the big orange ribbon around his head. That's such an ugly outfit. Has anybody actually worn it when you foisted it on them? Foisted nothing! I want to wear it every day! They won't let me! Oh, Finley.
You should have seen Landry in it. He practically busted the seams.
I glance behind me to see what Landry is doing. I have no idea how he would have gotten this uniform on in the first place. He must have heard his name because he hurries up to the second floor. Reese was too scared to ask Mason to do it.
I was not.
You were. You mentioned the dress code and she stared icicles into you and you stopped.
It just wasn't relevant.
How about you, Reese?
Of course not.
Really? This looks like it's about your size.
No. Graves had it made. I had nothing to do with this.
You started before any of us, so we wouldn't know.
No!
I bet you look like a little prince.
I'm leaving. I have to get ready for cat detail.
Okay, Your Highness. Your Highness Sue.
Leaving!
Reese storms off. He disappears around the corner that leads to the kitchen. Finley gives me a light punch on the shoulder and a sly grin. I bet if you talk to Graves, he might have a picture of Reese in that uniform. No, I'm good. No, I would love to see this. What are you talking about, Avery, you good? Come on, we need to see this. Aw, spoil sport. Well, I better get to work too. Good luck on your first day. I'll be by to document your progress for the blog later. Finley gives me a little wave, then follows Reese to the back.